Chapter 61, Surprise. Boom. Boom. Heavy explosions resounded without end on the riverbank, spreading far and wide. The giant snake was almost 70 meters long. Every time it tried to bend its body, it was forcefully stopped by Su Jingxing. It was now stretched straight while trembling. Then, like an iron rod, Su Jingxing held it in his arms and smashed it into the ground. The hard concrete floor and the river levee were all smashed apart, sending large chunks of rock flying into the air. Or he swept it towards the small forest behind the riverbank, knocking down the trees and crushing the bushes, creating deep pits and large holes in the soil. The fierce wind produced during the sweep was mixed with bits of grass and soil, flying everywhere. Pooh. Wah. The giant, which had lost its ability to control itself, opened its bloody mouth and spat out a large amount of liquid, as well as the skeleton or semi-skeleton of an animal or perhaps a human. This fellow has really eaten humans before. The flesh and blood of the human body that was swallowed by it had already corroded, leaving only incomplete and broken bones. Presently, with Su Jingxing's throw, it returned to the world. Pa thump, pa thump, pa thump. One after another. In less than 3 minutes, more than 20 human skeletons were spat out of the giant snake's mouth and smashed onto the ground. Su Jingxing, Qi Zhaochen, and his men all witnessed this scene. No one expected the giant snake to have devoured so many people. Most importantly, there were so many human bodies and even more animal bones. How were they stuffed into the snake's abdomen? Although the esophagus and stomachs of snakes have strong contractility, it was still shocking to see so many corpses piled up together. It was no wonder that the middle part of the snake's body had been so bloated. Obviously, this fellow was a big eater. After eating so many people, the giant snake did not have the slightest ability to resist, completely at Su Jingxing's mercy as he smashed it onto the ground and across the trees with his full strength. To avoid affecting the people from the martial suppression office, Su Jingxing was moving towards the direction he came from as he swung the snake. Thus, the riverbank, forest, and ground along the way were all destroyed, filled with pits and cracks. Pieces of rock were thrown into the air and soil was scattered everywhere. These fell into the river, causing large splashes. At the same time, the plopping sounds were especially loud. The originally clear river water was now extremely turbid. The fish and prawns in the water were fleeing frantically. Boom, boom, boom. The loud noises did not stop. On the riverbank, a belt of ruins that was hundreds of meters long was quickly born. Near the viewing platform, Qi Zhaochen and the others recovered from their shock. They supported each other to sit or stand as they looked at the ragged ruin zone. For a moment, there was dead silence. Who is he? I've got no idea. This guy is way too strong. The condition of his physical body is way too sick. That's right. This is the first time I've seen such a powerful physical body. It's the same for me, not to mention you. With this kind of body, no matter what barbarian comes, they can only admit defeat. Quote. The Martial Suppression Office's members with varying degrees of injuries endured the waves of pain that came from their bodies. As they panted, they all spoke in disbelief, diverting their attention to minimize the pain. Qi Zhaochen was more or less the same. He leaned against a backdrop rock and looked into the distance at the smashing that was still going on. His eyes were filled with astonishment and he was still in a state of shock. If not for the sudden appearance of this expert who interfered in the battle, he would have already been swallowed and turned into those bones that the snake spat out. No flesh, only bones. Boom, boom, boom. The loud sounds echoed along the riverbank. Su Jingxing was covered in mist, and his strength seemed endless. However, the giant snake could not hold on any longer and soon stopped struggling, allowing Su Jingxing to fling and smash it. However, Su Jingxing did not let go. He continued to hug the giant snake and dropped it towards the ground and the riverbank, causing massive destruction. Playing dead. Playing dead in front of me. Dream on. That's right. The giant snake looked like it had been smashed to death. Its glossy skin was in tatters, and there were several holes on its head. Its head was bleeding, and it was no different from a corpse. However, Su Jingxing did not receive any notifications from the cheat ability. What did this mean? It meant that the giant was pretending to be dead. If Su Jingxing were to fall for it and end his attack, this fellow would either suddenly counterattack or escape quickly. Either outcome would not benefit Su Jingxing. Since he had come to this point, Su Jingxing did not want things to backfire at the final moment. He continued to swing and hit it around without stopping. Sure enough, not long after, the giant snake resumed its snarl and struggled frantically, making its final resistance. It was a pity that Su Jingxing, who had unleashed his full strength, was still some time away from exhaustion. The giant snake's final madness lasted for less than half a minute under Su Jingxing's constant suppression. This time, it was finally dead. Mutated beast corpse discovered. Would you like to extract it? Yes. Su Jingxing, who had thrown away the giant snake and was panting heavily, answered inwardly. He was finally done with it. Su Jingxing was probably the first person in Qinghai City to kill a thick snake that was almost 70 meters long. Although he was not exhausted, mist was rising above his head and his clothes were drenched. As he stood there, his surging qi and blood were like boiling oil, flowing continuously. Huff, huff, huff tilde. He was panting heavily. Badump, badump, badump. His heart was beating like a drum. Splash. The night wind blew and the river water rippled. The sound of a car came from afar. Su Jingxing, who had calmed down a little, caught it and did not check the function card anymore. He decisively retrieved the throwing daggers from the tail of the big snake, then executed the 8 steps rising dragon and flew back to the viewing platform. Hundreds of meters were covered in the blink of an eye. Swoosh. After bending down to pick up the treasure saber that he had thrown on the ground earlier, Su Jingxing turned around and rushed towards the Sky-Water River. Amidst the exclamations from Qi Jiaochen and company, he flew across the river like a dragonfly skimming the surface of the water, and disappeared into the forest on the north bank. What a powerful lightness skill. Furthermore, his attainments are extremely high, he has at least reached the level of perfection. Who is he? Who exactly is this person? He has a sick physical body and powerful lightness skills. Logically speaking, he cannot be a nobody. When did such a powerful martial artist appear in the Western District? Who knows? Maybe he's from another district, or maybe he has just arrived in Qinghai City. Hey, did any of you get a clear look of what this expert looks like? No. His body was shrouded in fog. I couldn't see him at all. Neither could I. Quote. While cheering for one another, the Martial Suppression Office's members marveled at Su Jingxing. Even Qi Jiaochen, as he gasped from breath against the rock, regretted not asking for Su Jingxing's name earlier. If not for Su Jingxing, his entire team would have been wiped out. On the other side, Su Jingxing, who took the small paths and alleys, found a remote corner. He spent half an hour to restrain the restless aura, qi and blood in his body and return to normal. Then, he took out the card he extracted and read the description. At the next moment, he was delighted, overjoyed and surprised. It was actually a storage card. As the name implied, storage cards were cards that could store items. Its interior was an independent space that could be sealed on any part of Su Jingxing. In other words, the small space obtained after the storage card was unlocked could be placed wherever Su Jingxing liked. His chest, shoulders, eyebrows, thighs, arms. Anywhere. To facilitate retrieval and storage, Su Jingxing decisively placed it in his palm. Right palm. The next time he extracts a new storage card, he would place it in his left palm. The storage space in his palm couldn't be seen by the naked eye or felt. Only Su Jingxing's mind could enter and exit it at will. Su Jingxing checked carefully and confirmed that the storage space was 10 meters long and wide, and 2 meters tall. Although it wasn't very big, it was enough for Su Jingxing's current use. Treasure sabers, throwing daggers, secret manuals, cards, corpse-dissolving liquid, strength pill jars, and arcane pill jars were all placed inside, for Su Jingxing to retrieve at his convenience. In short, it was very worth having spent so much effort to kill the mutated beast snake. A storage card was more useful than the golden body cards, mighty strength cards, body strengthening cards and invisibility cards with only one-time use. Not to mention the essence energy cards and strength enhancement cards. After all, there were too many extraction sources of the essence energy card and strength enhancement card. As long as one was human, one would possess strength and energy. The mighty strength card and the body strengthening card were similar. All barbarians had them. Su Jingxing had yet to figure out the principles behind the martial arts practice card and the requiem card, so he would reserve his comments on them for now. Only the storage card, such a special spatial function card, could not be extracted from humans. Now, Su Jingxing finally understood. Why had the middle part of the giant snake's body expanded so much? It was more than twice the size of ordinary snakes. This was the giant snake's innate divine power. Its stomach was its own independent space. The food it ate could be stored in large quantities. Of course, this independent space should not be very large. Otherwise, the storage space that Su Jingxing extracted would definitely be more than 100 square meters. The cards extracted by the cheat ability depended on the corpses. The giant snake had 5 abilities: defensive, slippery, spatial, corrosive, and immense strength. Perhaps, it was poisonous as well. The cheat ability extracted the spatial ability. Su Jingxing was very satisfied. Its defense and strength were still alright. But its slipperiness and corrosive nature, even if they were for free, Su Jingxing would have to consider if he really wanted them. This space was the real good thing. Especially the next day, when Su Jingxing went to work and extracted cards, he found that the cards had automatically appeared in the storage space instead of his pocket. This had him even more delighted. Big surprise. This is another surprise, haha. It was actually rather inconvenient when the cards appear in his pockets. Other things aside, Su Jingxing had to wear clothes with pockets if he was heading out. Now, the function cards will appear in the storage space directly. It was convenient and also dispelled a lot of invisible trouble. He had made a killing from the operation last night. Little Su, what are you so happy about? Tell me and let me be happy too. During their break, Ji Yubo walked over from afar and shouted at Su Jingxing. Oh, it's nothing. Su Jingxing calmed himself down and restrained his smile. He asked, Team leader, is anything the matter? Why? Can't I look for you for no reason? Ji Yubo snorted. Haha, of course you can. Su Jingxing laughed. But, Captain, you're usually busy at this time. You must be here for something. Alright, kid. Ji Yubo was surprised. He smiled and said, you guessed right. I'm looking for you. Do you remember Zhang Shanfu? Yes, why? Su Jingxing was puzzled. Did something happen to him again? Zhang Shanfu was the first person that Su Jingxing to be alive since he started moving corpses. Not that. He's just here to repay your kindness, Ji Yubo said with a smile. Huh. Su Jingxing was surprised. Repayment. He has been discharged so soon. He insisted on leaving, Ji Yubo explained. Zhang Shanfu's condition wasn't serious. After he woke up, there was basically no problem. All that was left was to recuperate. Staying in the hospital would cost money, so it was better to spend that money on some good food. So, early this morning, Zhang Shanfu left the hospital and returned home. As for coming to look for you, it's to repay your kindness. Zhang Shanfu said that if not for you, he would have turned into ashes. Well, Su Jingxing hesitated. While this was indeed the case, that without his reminder, Zhang Shanfu would have already turned into ashes. Su Jingxing never thought of getting any repayment for this. He was aware of the situation with Zhang Shanfu's family. They were not rich. Let's not talk about this or that for now. You can go over first and then see if you wish to accept it. Ji Yubo waved his hand and said, Zhang Shanfu is waiting for you at the entrance. You don't have to worry about things here for now. Okay. Su Jingxing thought for a while and nodded. Sorry to trouble you, team leader. I'll be right back. You're being too polite, boy. Get out of here. Now. Gubo waved his hand impatiently. Su Jingxing smiled and headed straight to the entrance. From afar, he saw Zhang Shanfu, who was still rather pale, waiting in the pavilion at the entrance with his family. Once they saw Su Jingxing coming over. Thump, thump, thump. With Zhang Shanfu leading the way, the entire family, old and young, suddenly knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Su Jingxing. Hey, hey! Su Jingxing was startled and hurriedly ran over to help them up. Get up quickly. What are you doing? Get up, get up. Benefactor, don't stop us. Let us give you a few kowtows. We won't be at ease if we don't. Zhang Shanfu's white-haired father looked thin and did not have much flesh, but he was very strong. Without using his mighty strength, Su Jingxing could not do anything to him. However, when Su Jingxing helped one up, another would kneel down. He, who only had 2 hands, had no choice but to watch as Zhang Shanfu and his family gave him 3 kowtows. With great difficulty, he managed to calm the family down. Su Jingxing glanced at the family members of other deceased who were pointing in their direction from afar and sighed. Uncle Zhang, Grandpa Zhang, you don't have to do this. I was just surprised at that time, I thought that I had seen wrong. That's why I went up to check out of curiosity. I never thought of asking for anything in return. We know, we know. Grandpa Zhang wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes and said in a choking voice, You are a good person. Su Jingxing was speechless. Only a truly good person would go forward to check. Grandpa Zhang took a deep breath and said solemnly, I heard that if it wasn't for your persistence, Shanfu would have been sent into the furnace and burned into ashes. When Zhang Shanfu heard this, his body trembled subconsciously. As the person involved, he felt this most clearly. The fear, ecstasy, and gratitude he felt after escaping death was something that others were unable to understand. Only he himself knew how it felt, and even now, he was still unable to completely calm down. This was also why he wanted to repay Su Jingxing no matter what. Little Su, I can call you this, right? Zhang Shanfu took a deep breath and asked tentatively. Of course. Su Jingxing nodded. To be honest, little Su. I don't have much money at home. Although I say that I'm repaying you, I'm actually very ashamed, I can't bring out anything good. Zhang Shanfu looked ashamed as he said, I only have this little thing. It's barely worth it. I hope you will accept it. As he spoke, he took out a small box and opened it to reveal. A sword. Yes, it was indeed a sword. It was a gray, withered, and blunt wooden sword the size of a grown man's middle finger. It is very small, but is it really not a child's toy? Although he was puzzled, Su Jingxing's countenance remained unchanged. Cough. Zhang Shanfu was a little embarrassed as well. He said in a low voice, little Sue, it may seem unremarkable, but this thing is very strange. It can't be broken with a knife, fire won't break it, water won't wet it, and soil cannot bury it. It has been more than 50 years since my grandfather obtained it. It has never changed, and it still looks the same as before. Is that so? Su Jingxing was interested now. How did great-grandpa Zhang get this then? Fished it from the water, Zhang Shanfu's father replied. Fished from the water. To be precise, this was dug out from the belly of a fish, Zhang Shanfu explained. On the southern bank of the Skywater River, my grandfather caught a 2-meter-long fish. After dissecting it, he discovered this small thing in the belly. Of course, it's also possible that the big fish swallowed this and then it remained in the belly, never dissolving, never rotting, never coming out until now. It's hard to calculate how long this thing has been around for. Su Jingxing muttered. Yes. Zhang Shanfu nodded. It's very strange, but it's useless. At least, we don't know how to use it. It's been like this for 50 years. Little Sue, take it. Perhaps you can discover its secret. I believe that it will definitely show itself in your hands. Uncle Zhang, you must be joking. I don't have that ability. Su Jingxing rejected him with a smile. Although this thing is useless, as you've said, it's been in your family for more than 50 years. With such a long period of time, it is no different from a family heirloom. It's very memorable, so I think we should forget about it. Thump. Without another word, Zhang Shanfu dropped to his knees. His father also knelt down. Seeing this, the rest also followed. Hey, don't be like this. Su Jingxing was speechless. Who would forcefully give things away? He was not speaking contrary to his true intentions either. This little wooden sword was indeed strange, but Zhang Shanfu's family did not find any secrets for more than 50 years that it was with them. Why would there be new discoveries once it was in Su Jingxing's hands? But Zhang Shanfu's actions made it clear that if Su Jingxing would not accept it, they would not get up. Helpless, Su Jingxing could only nod. Alright, I'll accept it. Please get up quickly. Okay. Zhang Shanfu smiled and prepared to stand up. Ha tilde. From the side, his father suddenly slapped him on the back of his head. Zhang Shanfu shuddered and continued kneeling. He quickly said, little Su, there's one more thing. I heard that you're renting a house outside, right? Yes, why? Su Jingxing was puzzled. Cough. Zhang Shanfu coughed lightly and said seriously, it's like this. My old house has always been empty. It's located on the southern bank of the Skywater River. I was frightened and fell into the river this time because I went back to repair it. On the way, I accidentally discovered the monster in the water. After this incident, I've been planning to sell the old house. When we heard that you were renting a house outside, Dad and I immediately decided to give you the house as repayment for saving me. But didn't you already give me this wooden sword? Su Jingxing wanted to refuse. Although he wanted a house of his own, he would not go so far as to take someone else's old house. That's different. Zhang Shanfu waved his hand and said, this little thing is actually just an added extra. The house is the real repayment. Little Su, don't think too much about it. Our family has moved into the city for almost 20 years. If we leave the old house empty without tidying up, it will become abandoned. But the maintenance will cost us quite a bit every year. Giving it to you will save us the trouble. Ha tilde. The old grandfather slapped Zhang Shanfu on the head again. What are you talking about? The old man scolded with a glare, what do you take little Su for? Huh, what do you mean trouble? Are you really repaying his kindness? Are you trying to be the death of me? Ah. Ha. The more he spoke, the angrier the grandfather became. He held Zhang Shanfu down and gave him a good beating. Su Jingxing hurriedly tried to dissuade Grandpa Su. While he was placating him, he agreed, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Alright, the old house it is. Although Zhang Shanfu's family did not have much money, that was referring to big money. According to Su Jingxing's understanding, Zhang Shanfu's house was beside a pedestrian street in the Western District. It was a residence upstairs and a shop downstairs, the kind with a small courtyard at the back. Hence, without the old house, it did not affect them much. In particular, the mutated beast in the water had been causing a lot of trouble recently. Many people had died. Now, not many people were willing to stay in the small courtyards on the southern bank. Such small courtyards at the foot of the mountain weren't already worth much, not to mention the scare by the mutated beast now. Su Jingxing accepting it had indeed helped Zhang Shanfu. Zhang Shanfu was being serious about giving him the house. Even the title deed and property rights were transferred to Su Jingxing. After accepting the house, Su Jingxing finally had his own little nest. To others, a small courtyard at the foot of the mountain was of little value, but Su Jingxing liked it very much. Zhang Shanfu's old house was less than 500 meters away from the crematorium. It was remote and quiet, which made it convenient for Su Jingxing to cultivate. It would be even better if he had a pet to look after the house. For example, the big white goose in the valley of the Green Cloud mountain range. Thinking of the white goose, Su Jingxing took out his little wooden sword. Zhang Shanfu and his family had tried all sorts of methods and experiments on this wooden sword, but none of them had figured out its secret. It would probably be the same in Su Jingxing's hands. But if I were to bathe in the white goose's innate divine power and strange silver glow, would I discover anything? The secret hidden in the secret manual of 8 Steps Rising Dragon had reappeared thanks to the strange silver glow. Su Jingxing thought for a moment and decided to give it a try. Of course, this matter was not urgent for now. After all, it had already waited for more than 50 years. Wan Rong was coming back soon. Su Jingxing prepared to get his revenge and dispel the original Su Jingxing's obsession before going to the valley. With his own home, Su Jingxing moved house the next day. Zhang Shanfu's old house had just been renovated. He could move in after changing the furniture and bedding. Initially, Su Jingxing had planned to hack into the lottery and get some prize money to buy an old-fashioned small courtyard like this. Now that he had the house, there was naturally no need to do that. Unexpectedly. While Su Jingxing had already given up on hacking, he really struck the lottery. He was really lucky. Third prize, after deducting taxes, there were still more than 1 million great US$. Su Jingxing was overjoyed. It would be a waste to not take this money. Of course, I will have to disguise myself when I go to pick up the money. If he did not get Zhang Shanfu's old house, Su Jingxing was planning to go pick up the lottery reward from the hacking with his true appearance. All was great now, it had saved him a lot of trouble. And with this luck, there was no way to block it. After only one day, Su Jingxing woke up in the morning and suddenly received a notification from the Ethereal Sword Immortals online lucky draw. He quickly turned on his computer and logged onto one of U-Nation's 3 major social networking sites, Big Fish Forum. Ethereal Sword Immortals luck draw this time was held in this forum. After announcing the website, the lucky draw would begin half an hour later. Su Jingxing, who was already prepared, hacked into the back end of Big Fish Forum and interfered with the process. And as it turned out, he successfully won. Not one person, but 2. Su Jingxing and Wei Jiajia were both selected. That's right. Ethereal Sword Immortal drew twice. This result shocked everyone who was paying attention to the lucky draw. They thought that there would be 2 people selected for the meeting appointment letters from the Ethereal Sword Immortal from now on. But not long after, the Ethereal Sword Immortal started a live stream on Big Fish Forum to explain the reason. She chose 2 people this time because she had something to do in the next year and would not be in U-Nation. It was equivalent to picking the person for the second half of the year in advance. After making clear the reason, everyone was greatly disappointed. A moment later, everyone's attention shifted to the 2 lucky people. Wei Jiajia and the fake identity that Su Jingxing had created, Yang Jian. FCK, these 2 guys have it so good. That's right. I participated twice, but I didn't get chosen. I'm tired of my luck. Haha, can I say that I've been waiting to be chosen for 10 years? Did anyone notice? The 2 lucky ones this time, Wei Jiajia and Yang Jian, are both from Changyang Prefecture, Qinghe City. That's true. Is Qinghe City really that lucky? Both times, people from Qinghe City were selected. Haha, the luck of our Qinghe City is just that explosive. Ah, why am I not from Qinghe City? Quote. The Big Fish Forum was in an uproar, voices of envy and jealousy were everywhere. Wei Jiajia and Yang Jian were both from Qinghe City. This made the people of Qinghe City feel proud and honored for some reason. There were close to 100 million people in each of the 18 prefectures in the U-Nation. The number of people registered on the Big Fish Forum was almost 300 million. Excluding repeated accounts and inactive accounts, the actual number of registered accounts amounted to about 200 million. Wei Jiajia and Yang Jian had been chosen by the Ethereal Sword Immortal out of 200 million people. How could people not be envious and jealous of such a 1 in 100 million chance? In Qinghe City, everyone who knew about Wei Jiajia and Yang Jian had mixed feelings. Especially Wei Jiajia. The moment she saw the results, she was stunned. He did it. Su Jingxing really did it. The probability of 1 in 100 million could actually be achieved. In the small courtyard at the foot of the mountain, Su Jingxing received the meeting appointment letter from the Ethereal Sword Immortal from Big Fish Forum. This 3rd-grade big shot would arrive at Qinghe City tomorrow. After Su Jingxing read the message, he stood up in satisfaction. Success. The 3rd request, a meeting appointment letter from the Ethereal Sword Immortal, had been successfully fulfilled. The moment he received the message, Su Jingxing felt his body lighten. Since he had received it, Wei Jiajia clearly would have too. Immediately, Su Jingxing retrieved the 8-step Rising Dragon secret manual from his storage space. After wrapping it up, he headed straight for the Wei family's dojo. Wei family's dojo. Wei Jiajia, who had received the letter, felt her brain buzzing. She could not come back to her senses. Until now, she still could not believe that she had obtained a meeting appointment letter from the ethereal sword immortal so easily. This was virtually as easy as picking up the phone and ordering food from a restaurant. One might not be able to get in line to order food, but the meeting appointment letter had been settled in one go. How did he do it? How did Su Jingxing do it? Wei Jiajia's face was blank and her head was spinning. When Su Jingxing entered the dojo from the back door, he saw this scene and coughed. Wei Jiajia didn't react. She was still in a daze. Cough. Seeing this, Su Jingxing coughed harder. Ah. Wei Jiajia woke up with a start and hurriedly hid her phone, afraid that the letter would be snatched away. When she saw Su Jingxing with a mask, she was shocked and couldn't help but ask, "How did you do it?" "Sister, sis. It's great. Sis, this is wonderful." Before Su Jingxing could speak, Wei Jiaping's excited shouts came from outside the dojo. The young man moved very quickly. He ran excitedly past the entrance and shouted at Wei Jiajia from afar, "Sis, you've struck the lottery. You actually received a meeting appointment letter from the ethereal sword immortal. Did you receive the message? Hey, you're here too." Wei Jiaping saw Su Jingxing and greeted him subconsciously. "You came back just in time." Su Jingxing used his usual roughened voice and said in a low voice, "The 3 requests have been fulfilled, and the deal between us is now over. I hope you guys take care of yourselves and don't do anything that doesn't match your capabilities again. This is a secret manual. Farewell." Throwing down the 8 steps Rising Dragon, Su Jingxing turned and left. Wait. What do you mean the deal is over? Aren't there 2 more requests?" Wei Jiaping shouted from behind, but Su Jingxing ignored him. He walked out of the dojo quickly and disappeared through the back door. Wei Jiaping didn't dare to chase after him. He could only turn to look at Wei Jiajia and glare at her. "Sis, what's going on? Why did he say that the deal has ended? Didn't he only fulfill 1 request? Why? Wait." Suddenly, a thought struck Wei Jiaping and he said in disbelief, You received a meeting appointment letter from the ethereal sword immortal this time. Was it one of the requests?" Wei Jiajia was silent. "Tell me, was it?" Wei Jiaping roared. As for the 8 steps Rising Dragon secret manual that Su Jingxing put down, he didn't even look at it. Since Su Jingxing dared to send the secret manual back, it meant that he had already mastered or copied it. Regardless, the 8 steps Rising Dragon secret manual was no longer important. This secret manual was actually a hot potato in the hands of the siblings. It was actually a good thing to give it to Su Jingxing. Wei Jiaping had been delighted when he later thought about the deal they had made. Because he had shifted the trouble away. In the end, Su Jingxing returned so quickly. Wei Jiaping's heart was racing and he was panicking. Wei Jiajia's silence terrified him. At the same time, he couldn't control the anger at the bottom of his heart from rising. Say something. What's with the other 2 requests? Is the meeting appointment letter from the ethereal sword immortal one of them? Wei Jiaping's face flushed red as he roared at Wei Jiajia. Yes. Wei Jiajia lowered her head and spoke softly. Quote. Heh, good, very good. He took a deep breath and suppressed his anger. Gritting his teeth, he said, "What about the one left? What did you exchange it for?" Quote. Wei Jiajia was silent for a moment before she said ashamedly, "A fresh stock of muyan flour." Muyan flour. Wei Jiaping's face twitched. Then, his expression slowly turned hideous. Muyan flour. Good, what a good muyan flour. Really good, wonderful. Ha. He suddenly raised his hand and landed a slap on Wei Jiajia's face. The force was so great that Wei Jiajia was flung backward and almost fell to the ground. Before Wei Jiajia could react. Ha. Wei Jiaping rushed over and slapped Wei Jiajia's face again and again. He snarled as he struck her. Despicable. You selfish, despicable, and shameless person. How did my Wei family produce such an ungrateful person? Shame. You are the greatest disgrace to our Wei family in the last few hundred years. Chapter 65. Greetings Sword King. Wei Jiaping had reason to be furious. Even though he was snarling and growling, part of it was because he was flustered. He knew that Su Jingxing was difficult to deal with. They had no say in the terms of the deal, it would depend on Su Jingxing. This made Wei Jiaping frustrated and mad. But there was one thing about Su Jingxing that was worthy of praise. He had principles. It would be extremely difficult to find another trusted expert in the middle ranks who had principles, a bottom line, capabilities. Most importantly, he needed the 8 steps Rising Dragon. Yes, to Wei Jiaping and Wei Jiajia, Su Jingxing believed that Su Jingxing was a 6th-grade martial artist. Finding a 6th-grade martial artist to reach a normal transaction with was very rare. Although Su Jingxing had the final say in the deal, it was impossible for the Wei family to expand their business using it. But if they were in a life-and-death situation, Wei Jiaping believed that Su Jingxing would not stand by and do nothing. The reason was very simple. If the siblings were dead, who would Su Jingxing complete the deal with? This was the benefit of meeting the conditions with a martial artist with principles. Thus, the remaining two requests were Wei Jiajia and Wei Jiaping's life-saving trump cards. The stronger Su Jingxing was, the stronger this trump card would be. And what did Wei Jiajia do? She had exchanged these two life-saving trump cards for beauty and tutoring. The Muyan flower's function was to preserve the freshness of a person's skin for decades. As for selling it for money, the Wei family's problem now was not being short of money, but how to keep their money. Why did Chen Xiaodao and the others covet the Wei family's businesses? It was all because they were valuable. They did not lack money. What they lacked was powerful martial artists to protect their money. Wei Jiajia had used up a request just for the sake of her skin. What else could it be for but beauty? If Wei Jiajia was really a stunning beauty, she could rely on her beauty to find a backer too. The problem was that Wei Jiajia was not. As for the meeting appointment letter from the ethereal sword immortal, it was indeed rare to receive personal guidance from a third-grade big shot. Take note, it was only guidance, not becoming a disciple. The only way to get the ethereal sword immortal to take in a disciple was if one was a martial arts genius with outstanding talent. Wei Jiajia. She obviously wasn't one. If Wei Jiajia was a genius, she would have long taken an expert from Jinghang City as her master. Li Linzhou was not the only 4th-grade martial artist in Jinghang City. Ethereal Sword Immortal's guidance was actually referring to correcting some mistakes in cultivation, sharing about how to choose the most suitable martial arts, how to cultivate for the best effects, and what are some bottlenecks in the path of martial arts and more. To put it simply, it was equivalent to a special grade teacher coming to tutor you. How much one could learn still depended on oneself. If this kind of guidance wasn't tutoring, what else could it be? The most important thing was that this tutoring would only last for 3 days. A life-saving trump card in exchange for 3 days of tutoring from a special grade teacher. How could Wei Jiaping not be furious? The 8 Steps Rising Dragon was attractive to Su Jingxing, but to the Ethereal Sword Immortal, it was just an ordinary martial art. The Ethereal Sword Immortal could fly in the sky by her own abilities. To the Ethereal Sword Immortal, the characteristics of the 8 Steps Rising Dragon might not even be comparable to the 7 Steps Fist. At least the explosive power of the 7 Steps Fist was pretty good. Therefore, it was impossible for them to achieve a deal with the Ethereal Sword Immortal. The meeting with the Ethereal Sword Immortal was more of fulfilling Wei Jiajia's wish. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that she was celebrity chasing. This was exactly what Wei Jiaping was enraged about. Wei Jiajia had used up 2 requests, and she had only considered herself. Using the secret manual passed down through the Wei family in exchange for her own benefits. If this wasn't selfishness, then what was? Perhaps when Wei Jiajia made the offer, she wanted to make things difficult because Su Jingxing wasn't cooperative. After all, the Muyan flower was priceless, and the meeting appointment letter from the Ethereal Sword Immortal was 1 in a billion. But who could guarantee that Wei Jiajia did not take any chances? No matter how much of a risk she took, it was a disgrace to the Wei family. It was precisely because Wei Jiajia was aware of this that she did not resist. On the other side, Su Jingxing was completely unaware that Wei Jiaping was panicking and angry, that he had yelled at Wei Jiajia and slapped her. Even if he knew, he wouldn't care. After the deal ended, the Wei siblings now have nothing to do with him anymore. Next, Su Jingxing looked forward to meeting the Ethereal Sword Immortal. This 3rd-grade expert would arrive at Jinghang City on the 2nd day after the draw. Considering that there were 2 people chosen this time, Su Jingxing wasn't sure who the Ethereal Sword Immortal would choose to meet first. Of course, no matter who it was, it wouldn't take long. The Ethereal Sword Immortal's guidance lasted for 3 days at most. Su Jingxing was in no hurry. And the result had Su Jingxing rather delighted. The next evening, he received a message from the Ethereal Sword Immortal through the back end of the Big Fish Forum, asking to meet him at the Sky Garden at the top of Shi Wang Building tomorrow. That's right, he was the first. As for the Shi Wang Building, it belonged to the Shi family, a 100-year-old martial arts family clan in the western district of Jinghang City. There were a total of 33 levels, with the Sky Garden at the top. It was the top social gathering place in Jinghang City. Ordinary people could not step in here. Almost all the major factions in the city wanted to receive Ethereal Sword Immortal. The Shi family had pulled some connections and somehow managed to invite the ethereal sword immortal. In order to make it convenient for the ethereal sword immortal to guide the lucky ones, they directly closed the Sky Garden to the public for a month. For such gains in connections, the Shi family was willing to give up a year of their profits, let alone a month's. Even if they do not get to form a relationship in the end, the reputation of the Shi Wang building would have been fully established after this. The living advertisement of a third-grade expert only came by for the Shi family once in so many decades. Of course, they did not dare to publicize it openly. They only got people to keep an eye on the two lucky ones. Yang Jian and Wei Jiajia. The Shi clan would be tired of living if they were to use the ethereal sword immortal to promote their name. But publicizing Yang Jian and Wei Jiajia would have no problems at all. So, when Su Jingxing disguised himself as Yang Jian and walked into the small square in front of the Shi Wang building, he was immediately surrounded by a group of media reporters that the Shi family had long prepared but pretended to have just stepped out of the building. Hello, Mr. Yang. Have you received a message on the meeting location with the ethereal sword immortal? Mr. Yang, on behalf of the netizens, I would like to ask, are you married? Yang Jian, do you think you deserve this opportunity? Mr. Yang, did you come here because the ethereal sword immortal summoned you? Yes, Mr. Yang. Did the ethereal sword immortal summon you to meet her at the Shi Wang building? Quote. A group of people held microphones and guided Su Jingxing, unknowingly, wanting Su Jingxing to say what they wanted to hear. The location set by the ethereal sword immortal was inside the Shi Wang building. Su Jingxing was not prepared at first and almost fell for it. But after listening for a while, he realized that these media people were deliberately trying to bait him. Without batting an eyelid, he leapt into the air on the tip of his toes and stepped on the heads of these people as he quickly entered the building. After entering, he continued to ignore the gazes of the other people in the building and took the elevator to the Sky Garden on the top floor. Ding! The elevator doors opened. Su Jingxing walked out and stepped onto the grass-covered garden. His gaze swept around the surroundings and locked onto a graceful figure with cascading black hair. Greetings, Sword King, I'm Yang Jian. I'm not from any sect or organization.